more interconnectedness in a way that we work together rather than on our own separate paths, recognizing that we are part of. Tana, as a psychologist, has worked in this way, saying that the Transpersonal project is about interconnection and working together in a collaborative way. And Tana, as a psychologist, has worked in many types of psychology. Gestalt, Reichian, psychosynthesis, bioenergetics, biosynthesis, radix, voice dialogue, transpersonal, and shamanic. She's worked with communities, with schools, and in the support of abused women. And so her professional work reflects this project of reaching towards more collaboration, more interconnectedness, and more wholeness. Please, not.
Здравствуйте. I'm so happy to be here because, as I told you this morning, I had to learn Russian and I didn't like it so much at school. But now these words and expressions in Russian are crowding in my head, you know, it's just like wild horses. And I just remembered someone told me some times ago, что ты совсем с ума сошла? Yeah, and I probably did. I сошла с ума. and doing what I'm doing, it's so wonderful. It's my real passion to work with people, especially to assist people in really finding their own resources, their own jewels inside, and to discover their own qualities, like heart qualities, and their freedom, their dignity, and their belonging to the larger community, like Earth and Cosmos community. Because I believe that what happened to our civilization is that, you know, a long time ago we used to kind of be merged with the blissful oneness, like a paradise. And at some point we thrown ourselves out of the paradise. Like we got disconnected with the sacred ground of life, with the earth, and tried to get free. But on the way of getting free, we just completely got uprooted from the earth and from the whole universe. And I call this phenomenon homo separatus, because we got separated from the sacred ground of life, and you know, got through this human, scientific and technological and industrial revolution. And it was probably the needed stage in human evolution, but we went too far. We went too far, and now we realize that we are destroying the life on this planet, using our own energy, our human energy, against the the life energy, which is really, ridiculous. I mean, it's a paradox. So, what the questions I'm asking are, how can we work on ourselves, and how can we assist other people in reconnecting with the source of life and really get to really tap directly into the source and get the feeling of belonging and being one with the universe, and this way coming to this next stage of evolution from Homo separatus to Homo holos, who is ready to expand and embrace the whole creation with this tender consciousness. You know what I mean? To just contain everything inside and embrace with such a loving and attention that we feel that we belong here and we are at home here. And I believe this is the way to evolve in these very difficult times of transition, in times when the earth is losing its ability to sustain life, and when we got into deep economic and spiritual crisis, which I see as a sign, as a spirit of times, sign that there's time for change, that the old order set by man, built on the opposition of the man and the universe, brought so much suffering and destruction that we need to really go through this turmoil and this chaos and this time of real trouble and suffering to wake up to the new awareness which is able to really embrace everything. And let me share my personal experience. For many years, I was practicing Zen and shamanic practices, and I was trying to how to say, to cut the roots of my own delusion, of my own seeing, false things around me, reality. So I was trying to get out of my delusion and not to add to the suffering of people around me. And for this reason, I went to let me see. I have trouble with the words today. For some reason, I couldn't sleep well. But okay, I went into seclusion to the mountains for several months and just sitting there, meditating, being on a fasting, and with the question, what I'm really here for, and how I can contribute to this evolution of my consciousness, and how can I contribute to this planetary evolution. What there is really to do for me, what is my calling and my mission, and you know, what I'm here for anyway. And, you know, I sitting there and meditating and, you know, just out in the mountains on the river, I was, day by day, I was getting, you know, stripped of all the layers of attachment and addiction and just being stripped. And the last day of being there, I felt so naked and so weak after this fasting that I was really ready to die. I said, this is a good day to die for me. And I was ready to drop my body and mind altogether, just go. And at this point, you know, I got the message. I don't really know how it happened, but my heart, my soul started kind of singing, and that was, I call it the call of my heart. It sounded like this. I didn't, you know, the words just came to me, and it was like the whole world and creation suffer because of the separation of man and earth, and because of man's ruthlessness. Our spiritual hunger turn us into cannibals, devouring our own mother. We have to stop turning our human energy against life. We don't have to kill to survive. So let us stop wars and conquests. And let the earth be. There's enough water, fire, land, and air for everybody. To survive, we need love for its bounding and healing power. So let's go back upstream to the source and quench our thirst and put down the fire which is consuming the world. So then I understood that maybe this is my calling, to be with others the way that is assisting people in getting back to the source of life. Because when we are so spiritually hungry and homeless, when we're floating like solitary beings in an alien universe, then we're completely lonely and full of fear and full of anger and full of violence, because we feel that we have to fight for everything, you know, for survival, for everything, to fill it up, to fill it up, this gap, this empty place in us, and to get some material things to consume, to feel, to soothe our fear and anger, you know, just. So this, already Christina was talking about it, you know, the thirst for wholeness, that we're so thirsty that we need to, you know, suck everything in. So my question is, how can we nourish ourselves in this difficult time so we find our inner resources, our real source of life, instead of this consumerism culture, which is eating our earth alive. And I feel that this is such a big wound in the heart of the community, and such a big hole in our soul that we need a lot of this wise love forces to heal, to really heal. First, to heal ourselves, and then to feel the connection between people and the earth, and to heal our world. So who is going to do it? My question is, how we do it, and how to really be with ourselves and people in order to get into this healing process. So, from my vision, I understood that the most urgent and beautiful task is in awakening our true nature and tapping directly into this deep source of spiritual abundance. So to really feel that we are in an abundant, loving universe where we not only belong, but we co-create it. We are the part of creation and the reflection of creation at the same time. So if we get this feeling that we are kind of interplaying with the whole creation and contributing to it, then this completely different feeling that being so lonely and homeless and meaningless. There was a lot to said about the search for meaning. That without meaning and purpose, we feel empty, and it's such a despair to feel this way. So I believe that we need to assist ourselves and people to meet their spiritual needs of people, like a need for selfless love, a need for community, a need for a real deep bonding with people, and getting together like we do with like-minded, like-hearted people to really find out what we are yearning for the most. And I happen to get to the chapter of, I don't know if you know this book of Lizinka Ulatowska. She wrote the book Fearless. There's and ordinary people doing extraordinary things in a world gripped by fear. And I was struck by a few verses written by those who aspired to rule the world. Okay. Did you get it? Did you get what I just said? Okay? And the verses go like this. To govern the world, first of all, separate people from what they yearn the most. Kindle, I don't know if I pronounce it well, kindle the flame of fear, and the dominion of the planet fall into our hands and remains there throughout the ages. So if this is the thought behind this urgency for people to rule the world, to dominate the world, to dominate the women. This is the old patriarchal order, which man's supposed to dominate, or get, how to say in the Bible, is to get the earth subdued, right? And to get the women subdued. And so this thought behind this is to just cut people from what they yearn the most. And what is it what we yearn the most? That's my question, you know. If we really want to meet the spiritual needs of ourselves and people, what is it what we yearn the most? And I would like to discuss it with you so we can come to some conclusions. What is it that we should bring forth to the light in order to get this inner balance and the balance of the man and the earth? What is it what we need at these times of transition, these really difficult times we live in? And I'd be happy if you can add to this question, so we'll be questioning together. So do you have like spontaneous answer to it? And please, rather short, spontaneous answers so we can really discuss, okay? We can really exchange. Mm-hmm.
I think we yearn to be connected to the mother, and light and God's consciousness is metaphors. So we're connected to the movies and music, but science is not as metaphorical. So we're born through the mother, and then we get disconnected.
The problem is that we don't have another microphone, and or do we?
Есть такая история, когда человек говорит не в микрофон, переводчик не может его перевести.
All right, so please say it shortly again.
We're here to stay connected to the mother, and then we get disconnected when they cut the umbilical cord. And it seems that through our evolution of being a blank tablet, we are always continually disconnecting. We're electrical beings, and when we walk barefoot in Mother Nature, we're connected to the earth, but we wear rubber soles to disconnect us. We eat raw food or we eat cooked food. Raw food connects us to the mother. Cooked food is disconnected. That's basically it.
Yeah. So if you can say from your own experience, what are you longing for the most? Jennifer, please.
I thought you asked what is it we need the most,
Yeah.
and I think what we need is trust in the future.
Okay. Oh, the select voice there. If you can say your next, please, you were raising your hand. Okay.
Ну, вопрос о том, что к чему мы больше всего стремимся, каждый сам. И вот это к внутреннему осознанию себя в единении со всем. И в том числе с Землей, в том числе с космосом, в том числе с людьми. Вот себя как неотъемлемой части. А вот дальше, что нам для этого можно сделать, вот это уже интересно, что, может быть, каждый какое-то свое мнение скажет, по частям, потому что на то мы и коллективное сознание, что из своих индивидуальных сознаний нам легче увидеть какую-то, может быть, индивидуальную часть, но вот этой голографичности, и потом всем вместе составить уже общее видение. Поэтому чем больше людей скажет, как и какую-то свою часть видения, мы составим общую картину.
Did everybody understand? Okay, I don't know what to do with that.
Ну, у меня есть такой буддийский взгляд на вещи. У каждого из нас...
So I interpret into channel 1 for English and into channel 2 for Russian.
The problem is that people don't have earphones.
Someone doesn't have earphones, does it?
So could you come and translate, please?
So it suggests that we do it just consecutively for everyone. Okay, so we don't need the mic.
Okay. Okay. Talk. Just talk.
Просто говорите.
No, you talk. Microphone. Yes.
У каждого из нас есть чистая просветленная природа внутри,
Each of us have clear, enlightened nature within.
которая была все жизни, и в эту жизнь тоже она есть. И когда мы стремимся к счастью, то фактически мы ее ищем у себя.
And it has been there in your previous lives, and now it's there. And when we're looking for happiness, then we're looking for this nature.
Just talk louder because not everybody hears. Okay.
Либо через молитву, либо через йогу, либо через медитацию. Но реальный путь — это когда мы находим внутреннюю истину.
Yeah, so we're looking for it either towards the prayer or yoga or meditation, but the real route is to see, to look for the truth.
И качество этой истины, оно очень простое. Прежде всего, что мы в ней уже не страдаем.
And the quality of this truth is very simple, so we no longer suffer within it.
Именно здесь мы можем ощутить самое большое счастье для себя.
And here we can feel the greatest joy for ourselves.
И когда смотрим на окружающий мир, мы это счастье можем передавать каждому человеку, независимо от его состояния и на любом расстоянии. В Москве, на всю Землю и на всю Вселенную.
And when we look around ourselves, we can transmit this happiness to everybody around us, and it doesn't depend how long the distance is. We can transmit it to the whole Earth and to the universe.
И я думаю, что это как раз вот такое состояние целостности, когда я вижу себя в центре Вселенной, и я ответственный за эту Вселенную, потому что я излучаю состояние счастья и истины на всю Вселенную, до самой-самой-самой конечной звезды.
So this is the sense of integrity, the sense of responsibility for the universe as a whole, when I place myself in the center of the universe and emanate my happiness, which reaches the farthest stars.
Is there somebody else who would like to contribute to this?
Еще кто-то хочет внести свой вклад?
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not answering the question you asked, but I'm aware that, and following on from this morning with the men and the women, at this conference, of course, we've got a lot of men who understand much more about the inner world, but we've all got to let go of our fear to make a shift. I see the women's fear as letting go of the pain of the eons and the victimisation. And I'm unclear about how men would specify their fear. I'm not talking necessarily about the men here, but how to help the general men out there that find it really difficult to be vulnerable in a healthy way. So I'm not answering your question, but I'm answering the opposite, I think, or asking the opposite question. What is it that stops each of us getting through that fear as a collective?
Здесь скорее не ответ на ваш вопрос, а размышления в плане отношений между мужчинами и женщинами, о которых я шла раньше, вообще на этой конференции, потому что, конечно, мужчины, может быть, больше могут рассказать о внутреннем мире, что касается преодоления страха, женщинами, то это преодоление боли, преодоление виктимизации, а вот где этот страх у мужчин, что останавливает нас в поиске вот этого страха, который нужно преодолеть среди мужчин. Maybe I could sit there since you will be speaking English.
All right.
Okay.
Could I just add something to that? I think when I said what we need is trust, it's more or less saying what Tricia was saying, we need to let go of the fear.
Но нам больше всего нужно доверие и избавление от страха.
Okay, so I believe we can move to this topic which you just brought in about fear and victim.
So the women letting go of the deep pain of the eons, all the ages, and the victimization that we can't step forward in a loving, clear way.
Yeah, I believe, this is in our genes, that we remember the Inquisition time. Do you understand? Because you don't have ears on. And so we are so scared to step forward and give our voice to the world, because we remember the torture of Inquisition, and all the women who have their power and their healing abilities and their real union with the nature, and they are afraid. Maybe not all of them, but there's the kind of this ghost of this fear that if I really show my full power and my healing abilities, they're going to condemn me as a witch. So that's probably why we are afraid. And but anyway, you probably see also that women are coming back to our power, and this is the very large movement of all over the world of women who gather, especially for bringing this voice and healing to the earth. And I don't know if you know about 13 grandmothers. Did you hear about 13 grandmothers? Okay. They are from all over the world. It's from Arctica, from Africa, from Mexico, from Tibet, and from New Mexico, Arizona, just all over the world. The medicine women who decided to create an alliance for healing the Mother Earth, and they travel from one place to another to heal the spots of the earth which need healing, which are the energies unbalanced, and they need to, by singing, by doing the ceremonies, by praying, they say they heal the 7 generations in seven future generations. So our children wouldn't have to suffer from the polluted earth and air and everything. So there's another movement like this. I don't know if you've heard about Jean Shinoda Bolen. She's gathering women, and she wrote the book "Gather the Women and Save the World." And she has an idea of this 9 million circle. She creates the circles of women all over the world, and they all connected. So this is like a network of the women's circles. So this way, she hopes to gather the energy for critical mass. Understand critical mass? This is like hundreds monkey experience. This was like people observed that the monkey on one island learned how to wash potatoes or patatas, I don't know how to, and another monkeys on another island didn't have any connection with this island, and they started washing potatoes because vibrations of an energy went to this another island. So the hope is that if enough of us will make a healing and, you know, healing from the old oppression and from victimization and from this fear and anger, then the energy will reverberate throughout the universe, because everything we do and think and you know, it's going like a vibrations, frequencies of the energy. And Jennifer, she knows the best about it because she's one of the healers of the earth. I don't know if you approach her seminars. She's maybe you would like to say for yourself, because this is fascinating what you do. Very shortly, okay, but just a basic. Yes. What would you like to say, Keith?
Yeah, I want to add something.
Okay, just give you the microphone.
Thank you. I want to add something that if you look at the new generation, the younger people, at this moment, they have healing qualities for the earth. And I was surprised, because I'm from the old generation of what I have got from my parents and my grandparents, a male-dominant world. And I do meet very young people with my work at these years, and I'm very surprised that the young men have very deep intelligence visions, and it feels shamanic, a new shamanic global vision. And I felt a little bit excited because I have a history with my older sisters who abused me as a man. And it's completely new for me to feel the new possibilities for the world with the new generation, with young men. This I wanted to add.
Okay, thank you. Did you understand? Yeah, okay. Okay, Jennifer. Just short.
I add to that, we've noticed at this Congress how many beautiful young men there are. Just very briefly saying that the work that I am involved with the crystal skulls and the jade disc and raising energies, it's about healing Grandmother Earth in certain places where there has been enormous tribulation, trauma for the Earth, for people and so forth, along the 31-degree meridian. But it's more than that, because it seems to me that we've been talking a great deal about how we're all reaching up to spirit. But I feel I'd like to say more about spirit reaching down to us. And in the work that I've done and some of the sacred light photographs that have come through, there is evidence of spirit reaching down, and the star people in particular, reaching down to us and in our energy field. So it's both cosmos and Earth seeking each other in the new generation.
Perhaps I wasn't clear in the first place. I was wondering how we can do this together. Like, not at the exclusion of men. I can see that there's we've been talking about this all week, how beautiful the masculine energy is here. So how can we do it together? I just wasn't clear of what the fear was that men have to let go of. I'm pretty clear of what I have to let go of. Thank you.
I really believe that in this work that the women are undertaking now, we don't want to threaten men. We don't want to threaten you and fight with you. We want to bring these values of nourishment and relationship and balance, so we can both, awaken to the wisdom of our hearts, and this way to take care of our mother together. And so this is not, I was a little bit afraid that if the women will reclaim our power and our, real voice, that the men would feel threatened. And it might be this way. But the real message and intention is that we don't want to really dominate you or bring back the matriarchy. Yes. We want to be balance the energies of male and female energies like it was on a stage, right? And so this is not about fighting.
Да, как предложение, абсолютно, хочу сказать, что я абсолютно с вами согласна. Это предложение для обсуждения. Может быть, слово «власть», the power, да, the power of woman, женская власть, заменить на слово «сила».
Maybe we could no longer use the word power, but to use the word force.
Может быть, гармония в каждом из нас, мужского и женского, как на уровне человека, так и на уровне Вселенной.
Harmony within ourselves, both on the level of a human and on the level of the universe.
Это не гармония власти мужской и женской, а именно гармония мужских и женских сил, энергий.
This is not the harmony of power, whether male or female, but this is the harmony of the male and female forces.
Yeah. So our time is ending, unfortunately. I just would like to add a few suggestions and share what I'm doing and with a team of people I'm working with. We decided that we cannot change the whole system, especially, political and economical system, even if we want to build a more sustainable civilization, but we don't have so much influence yet to change the system and to set this new order. But what we can do, we can really take responsibility for our integrity, and especially healing the part of us which is a victim and a part of us which is oppressor, because we all have these two parts in us. And as more we're a victim in childhood and growing up, as more the oppressor comes up and to protect the victim, but to revenge for the wants we have. So this is the real difficult task, but I believe one of our responsibilities are to heal these two parts and reconcile inside, so we don't cast our shadow on the world. You know what I mean? Because if the victim is not healed or oppressor is not healed, then we cast it on the world and bring more suffering. So this is one of of our tasks, to really heal inside, and then if we kind of put this broken mirror of our consciousness together, then our consciousness as a whole mirror can then reflect the whole universe. Then we become this homo holos, to being able to see clearly, and there's no gap then between man and the universe. We are reflecting each other. So this is one of the ways we are doing it. And another one is to get people connected deeply with their inner well of abundance, right? Because we started to build the well when we get so thirsty. And this is a Chinese saying, isn't it too late to dig the wall when you got real thirsty and you're almost dying? But we have to do it, right? This is the highest time to get deep into this well of abundance and really feel connected with this loving universe, because I really deeply believe that this energy of, I call it light, love, energy, which is our common ground from which their life comes and to which their life goes. But this has such a loving quality. Look at the creation of the world, how beautiful it is. So we just destroying it because we weren't connected to it. You know, we didn't feel like belonging to it. So now it's the highest time to really come back home and feel so, you know, compassionate and open and loving, so we can really embrace it, embrace ourselves and embrace the world around us. And this is that's what women are doing. And especially, you know, in Poland, we set what we call the intranet. Somebody already mentioned the intranet during this conference. This is the old vision of the god Indra. So the universe like a big web of life, and on each junction of this net there is the jewel or the diamond, and all the facets of the diamonds are reflecting all other facets. So we live because of the mutual reflections, and if enough people in the world will really get access to this phase that we are creating this network, this web, then I call it the international direct international direct radical action. And what my vision is that if enough, you know, spiritual people in the world would assist others in getting back to this deep source of abundance in ourselves, then we can really evolve into this homo holos, and then we wouldn't struggle so much with our fear and anger and violence. That would be greatly diminished or reduced, because we would have a feeling that we are at home together, and we take care of our common home together. And so one of the ways we are doing it is to go back to the rituals, to the rite of passage rituals, which is to assist people from the birth to death in doing it in a sacred way. Like we work with women who are, you know, pregnant, and there is home delivery, and there is, really doing it in a sacred way. So the children who are coming to the world, they feel really accepted and, you know, and loved and peaceful. And then when the girls are growing up, there's a rite of passage into womanhood, and it's done with a real care and love and respect for how different they are and what they need, and, you know, and what doesn't mean to be the woman, and how do I love my body, and so on and so on. And also healing all the wounds from the abuse, you know, and then the next step is how to become the mother and the lover, and then how to, you know, for men too, of course, but we're working with women, basically. And also how to assist our parents who are getting old and dying, and how to face our own deaths. You know, they're just bringing back these old rituals, old rite of passage rituals, who are done in a sacred way, and this way we really heal ourselves and getting deeper into our own source of life. And so I'm finishing saying that what we need is to bring this elder's quality, you know, this mature, wise, healing, embracing quality in us. First of all, to be able to embrace the wounded parts of ourselves. And second of all, to be able to reflect to other people that they have their healing qualities in themselves, that they have this love and wisdom and dignity and freedom, and we just need to reflect it in them. You know, someone said that the best service you can do to anyone is to reflect their true heart. So just bringing forth to the light this beautiful quality everybody has, these great jewels we have, so we can feel really the wholesome, the whole of our lives, you know, we're not lacking anything. We have everything inside. We just need to dig deep enough to find it. Okay, so with this, I finish this talk, and thank you so much for coming. You would like to say.
Я прошу прощения. Мы говорили о возможностях, что мы можем сделать. Мы можем сделать очень многое. Пожалуйста, если можно, переводите. Значит, я вижу, что у нас очень мало времени, но у нас впереди перерыв. И не только индивидуально, вот возвращаясь к теме, я не хотела бы, опять же, все это сводить к психологии мужского и женского. Это реализация. Поэтому я прошу сейчас, мужчины, не спешите уходить. Если нам не случится это сделать здесь, то каждый из нас поедет в свое место, в свою страну. Мы здесь разных возрастов, разных поколений из разных стран. И вот здесь звучало слово «мужские страхи». А разве в женщинах нет страха? Мы боимся друг друга, мы накопили это веками. Переведите, чтобы пока не уходил вот этот мужчина конкретно.
This man in particular, not to leave for the time being, because this is the only opportunity for us to reconcile ourselves, men and women. And so we were talking about the male fears, but what about the fears of women who have accumulated them? We feel fear for each other.
Мы накопили много страхов, и это обоснованно. И сейчас не важно, кто кому сколько боли причинил, как в детской песочнице, кто первый начал.
We have accumulated a lot of fears, and it doesn't matter how much pain and who has inflicted upon each other. It's like on the playground, where it doesn't matter who was the first to start.
Равновесие может быть восстановлено медитацией. Медитация – это медитация мистического действия, в которой участвуют и мужчины, и женщины. И если вы хотите, то мы можем это сделать прямо сейчас. Если мы пожертвуем перерывом, если нам никто...
Mystical meditation, and if you would like to, we can conduct such a meditation right now if we sacrifice our break and if no one expels us from this room.
Я просто расскажу, если вы говорите нет, вы, может быть, это сделаете потом в другое время.
I'll just tell you, but if you would go for it, then you could do it some other time.
Это действие, которое в разных местах, в разное время неизбежно так или иначе будет реализовано. Значит, первый момент. Женщины и мужчины, все, неважно какого поколения, вот этих энергии, чистейшие первичные качества, ин и ян, текущие в наших телах, напротив друг друга.
So in this action it could be implemented anywhere, it doesn't matter what kind of generation. You represent like the purest energy inside of you, yin and yang. So please face each other, men and women.
И первое – это момент покаяния. Момент покаяния янского перед инским.
And the first is the moment of repentance, repentance of the yang in front of the.
Момент покаяния мужского перед женским.
So the male for the female.
И в этот момент женское одновременное прощение. Не просто выслушание, но вот наконец-то это произошло. Если в этот момент не открывается сердце простить, то простите, милые женщины, мы, значит, сами не готовы к этому великому акту. Поэтому я немножко тороплюсь, потому что боюсь не успеть сказать, а мне это хочется, чтобы это жило. Одна часть, значит, потом в обратную сторону женского покаяния перед мужским. Мы принесли мужскому не менее боли, но они делали это явно, мы делали это тихо, потому что не могли делать явно, но в нас росло наша женская сила, которая отвечала на этой мужской силе неявно.
And then the women should repent because we also inflicted pain upon men, but whereas they did it openly with a secret fashion, just to respond to the pain that we received from men.
I was telling her I wouldn't like to keep people here if they don't feel like staying. So please tell people that if someone wants to leave, and do it now. And if someone wants to stay,
не обязательно здесь оставаться, если кто-то хочет уйти в данный момент, то можно уйти, если кто-то хочет остаться, принимать участие в этом действии, то, пожалуйста, оставайтесь.
Это можно не делать как действие, вы можете это сделать потом. Можно я скажу вот это вот приятие? Значит, соответственно, женщины приносят покаяние, мужчины принимают, отвечают вот этой прощением, энергией прощения друг друга.
But again, it's not necessary to do it right now, you could do it later, but the act of asking for forgiveness, and then the women respond with asking for forgiveness.
И только после этого возможно дружественное вот это единение, которым мы так, так хотим его, которым мы так мечтаем, дружественное единение, дружественное, спокойное, высокое объятие коллективного, женского, коллективного мужского.
Only after that the friendly union is possible and the friendly embracing of the collective male by the collective female.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Как надо дальше и воплотить в жизнь. Это надо сделать, а не поговорить.